My name is Jamie Landman. I'm the chair of the Department of Urology at UC Irvine. I'm also co-director of our minimally invasive fellowship here in collaboration with Dr. Ralph Klayman. Why is fellowship important? And the fact is, you have to ask yourself that question. If you look at the literature that is out there, most people are currently doing fellowships because they don't feel that residencies have trained them adequately in the procedures they want to do. We are a high-volume surgical fellowship, whether you want endourology, laparoscopy, robotics, or percutaneous surgery. We're going to have that, but that's not really our primary purpose. If you look at the history of this fellowship, which is really a continuation of Ralph Klayman's fellowship legacy, having started the first fellowship in minimally invasive urology, it's about generating leaders. And the fellowship has a very long tradition of generating people who are leading in endourology. And in fact, people who are chairs of departments of urology, probably about a dozen nationally and even more internationally. People who are heading departments of surgery. Many of the fellows who are not chairs are division chiefs and have grown enterprises that are extremely large and have been extremely productive. Research is one of the major focus of the two-year program. 80% in your first year will be research-oriented with 20% clinical, and the converse in your second year. If you do the one-year program, there's still a substantial amount of research that would be expected. And if research isn't your thing, I don't think this fellowship is ideally suited for you. Our research interests are robust. So we have a weekly meeting every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 where about 20 plus students, fellows, residents, scientists, and faculty all are together going through our 50 or so projects. The projects are broken down into categories. We have education projects where we learn how to teach people. We have a tremendous number of laboratory projects, and these are usually cadaver and animal experiments. Some are in vitro. And then we have a tremendous number of clinical trials, and these have to do with everything from inventing our own devices and using them in the operating room, clinical trials, testing different endoscopes, largely just developing new technologies and new techniques. This is a real focus of our fellowship, and we spend a lot of time and effort not only teaching the fellow how to write protocols, but how to write successful protocols, how to get them through the IRB, how to organize a team to make them happen, how to collect that data, how to process that data, how to write a manuscript, and how to present that manuscript. And we do that with incredible precision. You will leave here as a pro. With regards to surgical volume, the program has an extraordinary robust volume right now. So the volume consists of Dr. Klayman's cases. He's largely doing percutaneous stone surgery, some ureteroscopy. Roshan Patel, who's doing a very high volume of ESWAL, ureteroscopy, and percutaneous surgery. Rami Yaqub, who similarly is doing endourology. Myself, my focus is largely on renal laparoscopy and robotics. And we work very closely with Dr. Thomas Allering, who does a lot of robotic surgery, perhaps the finest robotic pelvic surgeon I've seen in my entire life. Not only do we have the operating room where we do all the traditional stuff, we also work very closely with our interventional radiology colleagues. I think in a lot of institutions there's some conflict there. At UCI, it's actually a wonderful partnership. We do all our percutaneous ablations with interventional radiology. It's a collaborative effort, and I think our patients get a lot of benefit from it. A lot of technical training is also in the office, so we're doing a lot of office ureteroscopy, which is a little bit unusual. We also have office biopsy for small renal masses. It's technology that some of our LIFT students actually developed back 5 or 6 years ago, and now we're doing this clinically on a weekly basis. We also have the Artemis program, which is, of course, the prostate biopsies. Don't think it could be a more comprehensive technical experience. The beauty of the lab time is that you also end up doing a lot of advanced laparoscopy with reconstructions of bladders and ureters in the course of our different experiments. The kind of research is a great step towards generating the skills that you're going to need for advanced robotics, laparoscopy, percutaneous surgery, endoscopic surgery, percutaneous ablation. It is a wonderful technical experience, and the nice thing about it is while we have this great volume, none of us needs the fellow. Your job is not as an assistant. We have plenty of assistants. The job is for you to learn and gain your own experience. So you can spend the time where you like. If percutaneous ablation is not your thing, and I'll recommend it become your thing, but that's up to you. You don't have to come down and do those ablation procedures. If you're an endourology person with just ureteroscopy and percutaneous surgery, you can focus on that. If you love laparoscopy and robotics, we got plenty. So this is about your experience being great and not about you providing assistance to anybody. And that's kind of a unique perspective that I've not seen elsewhere. Our surgeries take place in some really terrific locations. So we have these incredible office procedures. We've built an office in Newport Beach. We call it the Birch Street office. Obviously it's on Birch Street. And it is a state-of-the-art facility where we can do Artemis, any kind of interventional ultrasound procedures, aspiration of cysts, biopsy of tumors, etc. Really beautiful facility. We also have a facility in our main campus, which we call Pavilion 3, which is similarly fully stocked, office ureteroscopy, fluoro, everything you'll need to do, just about anything you can do in the office, and things that you don't think you can do in the office. In the main hospital, which is called the Douglas Hospital, we have 2 ORs running actively every day. This is one of the most advanced hospitals in the world with state-of-the-art technology. Urology has beautiful built-in endoscopic and laparoscopic robotic suites. We also have a brand new facility we just built. We invested in building the best stone center in the world. We bought the most powerful and unique Dornier lithotripter. The system is integrated into an endoscopy suite, which we custom designed for ourselves. The institution invested a tremendous amount in making our stone center magnificent, and Dr. Roshan Patel has become our stone center director and is growing that like crazy. So our stone volumes have really become extremely robust. And whether you like supine perc, prone perc, fluoro, ultrasound, anything you imagine, we can do and certainly do. Overall, great technical experience with high volume, lots of mentorship when you need it, plenty of opportunity as you'll have your own patients for independent work, and a real focus on you learning and learning what you think you want to know and not just relying on you as an assistant.
So hi, I'm Dr. Ralph Victor Klayman. I'm the co-director of the Endourology Fellowship Program here at the University of California, Irvine. I am a distinguished professor of urology and Dean Emeritus, and hold a endowed chair in endourology here at the University of California. The concept of an endourology fellowship began in 1984 when I was at Washington University in St. Louis. That coincidentally was the same year that the Endourological Society was established. From that time to the present, the fellowship has changed quite a bit. There have been 36 individuals who have gone through the fellowship under my mentorship, first at Washington University and now since 2002 at the University of California, Irvine. The majority of these individuals have gone into academic urology and many of them have become household names, if you will, in urology, including individuals such as Peggy Pearl, John Denstead, Elspeth McDougall, Steve Nakata, Stuart Wolf, Jamie Landman, and many others who have made significant contributions to urology. The fellowship originally started out as a 6-month fellowship, and it was totally developed or devoted to shockwave lithotripsy, largely devoted to shockwave lithotripsy and percutaneous stone removal. Over the years, it grew into a 2-year fellowship because of the expansion of endourology well beyond stone disease into the area of laparoscopy and robotic surgery, as well as the growth of interest in the various areas of endourology, such that the laboratory also grew along with the clinical aspects, so that now it is a 2-year fellowship, which I believe is really necessary in order to establish oneself in the field and assure oneself of a very good job after the fellowship in academic urology. The 2-year fellowship is designed so that during the first year, the fellow has the ability to concentrate on research. So 80% of the time that year is spent on research, 20% is clinical, and that percentage is reversed in the second year, which is largely a clinical year and a less of an emphasis on the research. The second year is largely a clinical year, 80%, during which time the fellow participates in laparoscopic, robotic, and percutaneous procedures. Given the wealth of the faculty here, or the breadth of the faculty, this is an amazing experience because the fellow gets to do radical prostatectomies, robotic radical prostatectomies with Tom Allring, while doing robotic and laparoscopic partial nephrectomies and nephrectomies with Dr. Landman, along with other of our oncologists, Dr. Uccio and Dr. Hugan, and then also does a tremendous amount of ureteroscopy and percutaneous work with myself, Dr. Landman, and Dr. Patel. So the breadth of the faculty is also a significant factor playing into the fellow's abilities to learn clinical skills. In addition, the fellow in the first year actually does have a half a day of their own clinic during which they will see their own patients. This is also further continued in the second year. So the fellow actually has his or her own cases to do, as well as the ability to rotate and work with our residents at Long Beach Memorial Hospital and the Veterans Administration Hospital. As such, again, the experience is extremely broad. The fellow works closely with myself and Dr. Landman in the office, and again, I think gains an appreciation of how to run an office efficiently and effectively with respect to endourology. As such, the fellowship is designed to give an individual the whole package that one would need to go into academic urology. And the credentials that people graduate, with which people graduate, are such that most individuals finish with anywhere from 8 to 16 peer-reviewed published manuscripts. They will have presented formally at the American Urological Association as well as the World Congress of Endourology. They likely will have won 1 or 2 prizes in various essay contests or poster contests. They will have an ability and will have honed their ability to present in an exemplary fashion. And then at the end of the fellowship, it is the goal of Dr. Landman and myself to make sure that the fellow secures a job in academia that really suits their desires and their personality. We will go to great extent to match the fellow with the chair of the department so that they are truly simpatico. We believe that this fellowship is important, and it doesn't end on June 30th of your second year. Indeed, it continues throughout your entire career because we truly value our fellows. We seek their success, and we will do everything we possibly can to ensure their success. And I believe if you were to speak with any of our former fellows, they would corroborate that statement. One fellow said to me after the fellowship, when I asked, what did you learn, or what was the most important thing you learned during the past 2 years, make the statement, quote unquote, you've changed the way I think. That's actually what we really would like to do. We would like to open the world to question. We would like you to graduate the program with a firm belief that the status quo is merely where we begin every day, but it is not where we end up. We challenge the status quo every single day in our pursuit of seeking better ways to cure the diseases that affect the people who come to us for care. This is where people come to vacation. This is where people come to escape the East Coast winters, or the howling heat, if you will, that occurs in the Midwest summer. This is where Disneyland started. It is by far the nicest place in the country to live. As I tell people, every day when the good Lord creates good weather, it starts here. If there's any left over, then the good Lord distributes it to other places. But it starts here first. So if you're looking for a beautiful place to live, if you're looking for a place that's conducive to outdoor activities, if you're looking for a place that has wonderful restaurants and venues, if you're looking for a place that has great symphonies and great cultural life, this is the place to be. Of course, none of this will be available to you during your 2 years here because you will be in the laboratory and working clinically, but your family will greatly enjoy it.